Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Corey, aka Blockchain, and I am a full-time professional trader. And I wanted to just make sure I did a quick video for a very exciting announcement. I am actually going to be giving away one of my master classes at the end of this month. It's a $500 value, completely free to you. All you have to do is make sure you comment, subscribe, smash the likes on this video, and you will be entered to win. I will be doing the drawing at the end of the month for one lucky winner, and all you have to do is support my YouTube channel here. So make sure you smash the likes, hit that subscribe button, comment below, and you will have an automatic entry to the free masterclass. And yes, you can do it on multiple videos. So each time you do it on one of my videos, it will give you an entry. So the more, the better. So again, guys, smash the likes, hit that subscribe, ring that little bell, comment below, and good luck. And let's go ahead and dive into the charts. It is Blockchain coming at you with a Monday Bitcoin all-time high update. Real quick, being it is Cyber Monday, I just want to throw out there that I am running a promotion on my masterclass, 75% off for only $47. Today is the last day to get it. After that, it is going to go up to $297. And then as a reminder, make sure you drop a comment and smash the likes and subscribe to be entered to win a free masterclass. Today is the last day of the month to enter in for that as well. But if you don't want to miss out on the $47 price point, make sure you snag that up as of midnight Pacific Standard Time tonight. It will be going back to $297. So make sure you guys jump over there and check that out. Now, of course, the New Wave Traders Discord, we are having that promotion for a 14-day trial for just $25, and $5.97 for the year, or $97 a month after that. But I am a full-time professional trader in there, followed by 5 others. They're not followed, but I guess working with 5 others, including the Crypto Hippo, also known as Schuyler, his real name, but he's actually the guy to go to for Elliott Wave, and where I personally learned a lot of Elliott Wave from, and it's just been my missing link. So if you're new to the crypto or just kind of somewhat trading in general, here's a couple I guess trusted resources, and you can check out a couple testimonials as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the meat and potatoes here, with Bitcoin reaching its all-time high as of a little bit earlier this morning for me on my time zone. So real quick, we're going to start at the at the monthly, being that today is the last day for this monthly candle, and man, look at that thing. That thing is that is girthy. So very impressive monthly candle there. You can kind of see it here on the RSI. Excuse me. The RSI, we actually had a cross, actually right in between here of these two candles of our fast nor slow EMA, with the RSI having support down here on the bottom of the bullish control zone, then shooting back up here where we are currently, breaking out of the volume band, which, you know, it doesn't happen super often, especially on a monthly candle. Last time we actually broke out of the volume band was actually back here. You know, when Bitcoin was, let's see, let's call it like right around here where we broke out of the volume band, but back when it was $2,000, somewhere around there. And then you can see we rode the top of the volume band as we just got parabolic. And that is something that we might want to be watched for as we continue on through this cycle of parabolic movement here, where we came back down and we tested the top of the volume band, shot off of it, tested it again right there on that pullback, and then failed to continue on and broke into it, where we broke back into the volume band and cross back over that fast moving EMA there. So pretty interesting to see that we actually do have a breakout of it right there. It'll be interesting to see where this next monthly candle takes us, as today is the last monthly close. So that's definitely something I'll be paying attention to. You can also see that we did break over the R3 resistance, which was something that I've been watching for quite some time, around the, depending on what type of candle you use, But the 18.5 to 18.7 was, a little bit of wiggle room in there depending on the types of candles you look at. But RSI overall on the monthly looks pretty bullish. You can see where we did have the rejection of the bullish control zone there, came back down, found support on the 50, found support back here on the bottom of the bullish control zone at the 60 mark, and then just bounced off of it and took off to the races. So pretty good stuff if you ask me. So we'll go ahead and look at some of the smaller time zones here and dive in a little bit. But you kind of see that we do have volume picking up on the monthly and everything as well here. So let's look at the daily or the weekly first, and then we'll go into the daily. Weekly, this is one that I was looking for. I was talking about in the Discord a little bit ago, where we did break over it, and we came back in, and we actually closed the weekly. We had this weekly where we couldn't close above it, and we had this weekly here where we closed below it, and now we're shooting back into it again. So let's take a look at some of our other indicators here and see what we can see. So these guys are looking a little tired. We're starting to get a crossover here on the market liberator, which will create a sell signal just like it did here. It's just a matter of how much of a pullback that we actually get. So with this week, again, I'll be looking for some weekly closes above this line, the 18.5 or the 18.750 are going to be pretty important and pretty strong support, but also heavy resistance at the same time. As you can see, we tried to close above it, we broke back down below. Same thing, we got above it. We've had a pretty nasty rejection, which that candled down to 16.2. That was a pretty massive sell-off. But we ultimately just rallied right back. But we still have yet to close a weekly above it, so that is something that I want to pay attention to and something I want to watch as well. Especially as we have some of these, we have the volume band as well as the fast moving RSI, and your actual RS or fast moving EMA on top of the RSI right here. As you get a little bit closer, it becomes a little bit easier for the RSI to break. However, we can't bounce off of it. We've done it before, so that's something I'll kind of be paying attention to as we go through this next week or so. All right. Overall, in general, I guess from a higher time frame view, and a big picture aspect, there's a couple different ways we could be looking at this. One of them is that this whole thing right here would really just be a W and your X and a Y right here. Came back down, established support on the S1, and just took off running. Another aspect of it could be where this whole thing could potentially, be a large B wave, where we'd actually need to come back down and reset. What I mean by that is right here be our A and our B, and this being a C wave right here, and on a larger scale right here, come down for an A, this be a B, and then a C, and then take off again from there. So that is I guess really the two biggest ways that I'm looking at this, and that's ultimately going to really determine how we react and I guess how we go into the price discovery here, because if this would be a W, an X, and a Y right here, then that means that this would really be the kickoff for an impulse. I've never been a big fan of how we kicked off right here, to make it impulsive, but really if we did, the only way I could look at this would just be a 1, this would be our 2. We'd have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And here for the third wave, have a 4th, and then up again here for the 5th. And let's pull a fib real quick. And just go boom, boom, boom. I did it kind of quick, so I'm not exactly the tightest on there. But you can kind of see that we're coming up here into our 4th, or ending of the third wave territory, I guess. So it would be like so. And just had, right here, this is a pretty quick wave too. So on the wave 3, I'd have to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 right here. And then we would go into a larger correction here, I would say, for a 4th wave. it would be a little bit more drawn out. And look at something similar here for this overall wave 2, and then up again for a wave 5, where it would take us into roughly that 24K, 26.5K, somewhere in that ballpark. um, is really, you know, how I'm looking at this from if it was impulsive right here. We would need to go out and we get another leg up to that ballpark, in which it still ultimately could be, a B wave of this thing. Because if you did a fib retracement, where would that put us? I did that in the worst, terrible spot. You can't see anything. So that's that there. So actually, that's pretty interesting that if you do pull this for a B wave, it's pretty close. But if you pulled it for a B wave right here, the 1.236 for an expanded B pocket is also. I'm never going to be able to do that. Put that too much close together. But anyway, if that 1.236 is also lines up for an expanded B pocket for a fifth wave up here at basically 24K. So it'd be interesting to see if what kind of reaction we get there. I think that'd be a big reaction. We could, have a pretty quick wave 4, and then get one last little quick leg up. That's if things don't get overextended. And then at that point, I'd be looking for a pretty solid correction down. And whether, depending on what kind of reaction we get, that's really going to determine if it is a B wave ultimately, or if we're going to go into, say, like a wave 2. So I'll put a little label here on this guy. So basically, if it is a wave 2, I would look for a 3-wave correction, just a boom, 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 an ABC, to come back down, versus like a 5-wave move, which would be pretty aggressive for us to come back down and hit the bounce off like the 618 or something like that. But if it starts with 5, it ends with 5. So if we come back, start with a 5-wave move down, we're gonna have to end with a 5-wave, whether it's a zigzag or whether it's a 5-wave overall impulse down for an AC wave. So that's what we'll be looking for. But with the wave structure here, the only thing that makes sense for this to be impulsive, would really just for it to be really coming up at the top of the 3rd wave. But it's also pretty interesting too. We hit that 1.618. Pretty much at the T is where we're at right now. So on the flip side of that, with it being that we did hit the 1.618, it could potentially be, we could be looking at like a double zigzag potentially, where this would just be an A, B, and then an overextended C, to get us up here to the 1.618 and a 3-wave move as well. So a couple different options, and I really just we have to see what price action does and look at a couple of these indicators as well. I'm not seeing really any kind of divergence like that on the monthly, the daily, the weekly, anything like that to play out for bearish divergence. But you can see that we are starting to print a pretty strong sell signal here on the Market Liberator, where we had, you can see back here, we had one here, but we had a quick little dump and then rallied up to new highs and then hit it again. So that is something that could possibly form out here with a 4th wave going up for the 5th wave. But even right here, we printed one right there. Then we had a pretty strong sell going into through the next week. And then right there was our buy with a pretty strong buy signal going into it. But you can see with the RSI, we had a nice bounce right here too off of our slow moving EMA. We are outside of the volume band, so we'll kind of see what it comes down to when we touch it, or if we have a pretty decent sell off in wave 4. I'd look for us, if we do break it, to come back down and touch the top of the bullish control zone at the 65 on the RSI potentially. Or even do something like we did here, where we touched the top of the 70 and then bounced right off of it and got another kick up. So you kind of just have to see what price action will do and what it's going to play out to be. Being that we are on top of it, establishing, I guess, some support is pretty strong and pretty bullish at the moment. So let's see, we'll go into the daily here, see what we're looking at. But you can see that on the daily, we came back down. We tested the top of the R3 to the T. I mean, just boom. And we had a super strong bounce on top of it. And now we are back up here, looking at the 618. And I mean, maybe we can just do a little correction up here for the overall fourth wave. Kind of triangle out up here, I guess. And then go out for, potentially a fifth wave. But pretty strong reset. I mean, if you look at the CB index, I mean, went all the way back down to below zero, which super bullish, and even back down here before we started off this whole run, we didn't even get that low. So we had some pretty strong bullish divergence off of the CB index on that reset. And yeah, we did break out of the bullish control zone. Didn't quite hit the 50, but you can see we're trying to get back over and establish support here into the bullish control zone. So all pretty good stuff, pretty impressive, super strong. We're even up here this whole run where we just hung out up here and just bounced off of that 70 and just hung out in that bullish control zone. Super strong. So yeah, well, let's go ahead and just look at the 16 and the 4 real quick, see where we're at. So we did come up and we did just miss this R2 for resistance point. We have our next resistance up here at 21.2. I'll throw a little price label on that guy. Depending if we're looking at this being overall in a fifth, I would expect to come back down and get another kick up for basically we had our 1-2, so we had a third, fourth, get another little kick up, potentially get over this R2 a little bit, maybe up to the R3. I mean, this was a super quick buy right here, so we might get up to that 21.2, and then correct back down into our potential fourth wave and kind of go from there. And see we're at the top of the bullish control zone, hitting our slow EMA. Yeah, because the CB index did actually move up quite quickly with that buy. Interesting. Yeah, so we'll want to see that kind of cool off a little bit if we're going to get up to higher highs. Let's look at the 4-hour real quick. Establishing support up here on the R1. If we break that, that might be fairly concerning. And I guess when I mean break that, have at least a 4-hour close to 16-hour close below it. That's what I would be a little bit concerned on. CMB indexed, kind of establishing support. We are looking to print a sell signal on the market liberator here shortly as well, as we're starting to get a little tired. But it'd be interesting to see if we come back through the volume band, bounce off of our fast moving EMA and get us up to that new high. So pretty awesome stuff. And if you followed my #1 trading strategy right here was the best buy. I actually had a pretty solid buy. I got in, I think it was at 16.9. I think I'm still in my long. Was right down here. So I wanted to get confirmation because this was a pretty massive liquidation right here. I know that there was a lot of people that got stopped, especially if you're on Kraken. I'm sorry if you're on the Kraken exchange because there was a wick that went down to like $20 on that thing. So overall, what I'm looking for, guys, is if this be wave 1, come back in for the 2, we're in a wave 3, 4, and then another leg up, potentially up here to that 21.2. Somewhere in that zone, I think we'll get above this R2 resistance point at 19.9 if we get up there. We'll want to see some of these cool off a little bit before we get another leg up. You can kind of see where even here on the 2-hour where we're finding support right now on top of that fast moving EMA. And yeah, just kind of consolidating on some of these higher times here. But even if we have like a quick spike down for a little bit, bounce off of some of these EMAs and then get us lift offs. But ultimately, looking for at least one more leg up towards the 21.2 zone. Let's actually pull a fib retracement real quick, see where that puts us on this. So ones we'd want to watch for, which I'm not a huge fan of at the moment, would be the 1.236 and the 1.382. We'd want to watch for those, potentially for an expanded B wave. What I mean by that, basically, we would have this as an A. It's coming up for a B to potentially hit the 1.236 or the 1.382. And then with another C come down, I'd watch for it to bounce off pivot or the S1, potentially the S2. Probably lean more towards the S1 here if there is a C wave. So back down to 16.8-ish if this is a B wave. But zones I'd be looking for to have that reaction are the 20.7 as well as the 250, the 20.250. And then if we break those, I mean, depending on how we move up, how quick we move up, we might get to that 21.2 right here. But based upon how we're establishing some support here, look for at least one more leg up and watch these zones of interest and before potentially moving back down. Being that, you know, we did have a sell signal right here on the market liberator, but we haven't had much of a reaction. We had a little bit right here, but it's, you know, consolidation right now at the moment. It's not, you know, we didn't have a huge reaction like we did here. So but yeah, ultimately that's what I'm looking for, guys. You know, one more leg up, watch these zones, and then look for another move back down. And it just depends what kind of reaction we get here and how quick of a reaction that we get. You know, we may not make it back down to the 16.7. Be looking potentially at, you know, establishing support at the 18 as well. So, but overall, that's what I'm looking for, guys. And really just looking how I am where to exit potentially my position. I'll probably, you know, do so if we get up here into these zones, just because I don't want to be super greedy. And potentially look for another position to enter in, just because I would expect a little bit more consolidation. And if we are going to get some pretty nice swings back and forth, you know, I would like to try and hit those all day. So ultimately, guys, how I'm looking for. And if you like my content, smash the likes, hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you guys in the Discord, and don't forget to enter for the masterclass. Thanks, guys.